Welcome back, everybody. It's your man Kezix. Want to pick back up here where we left off. We're playing with our bear shaman, Grisbin. And the last couple of videos, we were running through the jungle and defeated Sadur and got through this first big wall right here. And now we're in the outer environs of the city of Tortage. This is going to be our beginning place, so all characters will generally start here. And you can stay here in Tortage up through probably level 25 if you play it right. That's something I like to do. Is I like to experience everything and do every quest in Tortage before I get started into the wider world. Just kind of set yourself up for success. I know some people like to rush through real quick, speed play and things of that nature. That's not me. I like to enjoy the low game, the beginning game and the mid game. End game is kind of, I don't want to enjoy it as much. That's just me. So I have to admit that I started playing and forgot to hit the record button. So I'm coming back here to the beginning, and I'm going to show you what I did over the past few minutes and catch you back up. So we started off here. Start running down this road over this little bridge over this lava river. Trust me, you do not want to get down there into the lava. You will die. It will burn you up. So this character in front of us, running off, they've got all these little monsters chasing him. That's a necromancer. Those are raised undead that he uses to fight his battles. So we're going to be able to start interacting with other character players as well while we're here. And you can put your cursor over top of him, and you can see this guy's a Stygian. He's a necromancer, and he's level 16. And he's not part of a guild, so we can talk to him if we want to. Anyway, the first thing you're going to do when you get here is talk to this fella here with the question mark over his head. His name is Labranga. Okay, and he's a wall captain. He's a guard. Story-wise, he's member of the Red Hand, which is the guards here in town. However, the Red Hand are generally evil. However, he's kind of really a double agent. He's actually part of the resistance, fighting against the current ruler of Tortage. So anyway, the first thing he tells us is he can't let us in the city because we are an escaped slave, and there's laws in the city about escaped slaves. So he says, okay, well, I can't let you in. You have slave shackles on. I say, well, what do I do about slave shackles? He goes, well, if you had somebody who had a big hammer, could knock them off your wrist, you could maybe do that. He says, by the way, back up the road you came from, there's a metalsmith who might be able to do that. So we turn around, we run back up the road, and we talk to this fellow over here. This is Turok, okay? Now, he is busy building a wall to keep that lava from flowing into Tortage. So he says, well, I'm not going to help you unless you help me. What I need is more bricks. You see this wall over here is missing some bricks. He says, I need more bricks. So if you get me more bricks, then I'll take your shackles off. I'm like, okay, fine. So then we'll turn and we'll take a left here up this pathway toward the quarry. And once we get to the top, there's some pirates hanging around here that we have to fight with. We'll do that again. There's probably about 4 or 5 of them that we have to get through to get to where we need to go to pick up stone bricks, as he refers to them, to finish building this wall. Cross over this little thing here. There's another player up here. If you come up here to this area right here with this little cave, right, and here are the stone bricks. Now, when you get here, they're going to be glowing, and they're going to have little bluish sparkles. If you remember, like when you pick up loot from a defeated enemy, it's got a bag or box, and it's got little golden colored sparkles. Well, these will have little bluish sparkles coming off of them, letting you know what you need to pick up. Typically, when you pick up one, if no one's been here in a little while, it'll trigger a boss bat demon coming out of this cave and fighting with you. You shouldn't have too much problem defeating it. Anyway, you need to pick up 3 of these bricks once you're able to, and then run back down here to Turok. You notice I sprint a lot to try to utilize as much time as possible. But watch this here. When I get to the very end, all of a sudden I slow down and I get a little thing telling me I'm exhausted, and my feet start glowing red, showing that, hey, your feet hurt running that fast. So you gotta pause every now and then. Anyway, you come back to Turok, you give him the bricks. He says, cool, thank you for the bricks. Okay, put your hands on either side of the stone. I'll take your shackles off. And now you have no more shackles, and we can run back to Loranga. And this is kind of where we're at now. Again, we're still outside the city proper. But we need to go talk to Loranga. And we will let him know that we no longer have shackles. So we're obviously not an escaped slave anymore, right?
Greetings, friend.
See? No slave irons, Loranga. Please let me in.
Why, how rare. You look much like an escaped slave who blindly approached me a short while ago, begging to come into Tortage. But I am sure you have never worn a slave's manacles in your life. Very rare. You may pass, but there is a condition, my unsubtle renegade. Inside the city, you'll find a thirsty dog tavern close to the gate. The barmaid there, Tina. I want you to hand her this letter. I'll see her after I finish my duties today, so I'll know if you don't keep your word. Tell her Loranga sent you, and keep your hands to yourself. Hear me? Thank you. A word of wisdom if you've the time. This was your first lesson in how Tortage works. A favor for a favor, and you're only as good as your word. Be careful when scratching others' backs that someone doesn't plant a dagger in yours. You think the jungle was bad? Welcome to your new home. Luck be with you. You'll likely need it.
All right. So if you have not done that little bit of running between Loranga and Turok and back, you try to come to the gate, you can't get in. Even if the gate's open, you're blocked from coming in. But now that we've done that, we can right-click on the gate and waltz right in. And here's Tortage. Okay. Now, many of these buildings are just here for show. NPCs live them and things of that nature. Every now and then you might pick up a quest that will actually take direct you to a building, and the door might glow, which means you can actually go inside. There are several of those here in town. Again, you can stay here up through level 25 more than likely before actually having to complete the quest. Or complete everything and leave town. So, the first thing that we want to do is we'll come over here to, there's an armor smith and a weaponsmith here. Now you can purchase weapons or armor from them. It's a base level version of things, and more often than not, you're going to already very quickly have things that are better than what they sell right off the bat. The first thing, however, I want to do is right click on them. These are the things that I can buy. Now, being a bear shaman, I can't really use most of these weapons that he's got here. I'm pretty much restricted to big two-handed clubs. I think I can also use crossbows or regular bows. So if I want to use a crossbow or bow to pull something from a distance, I can do that. Or a dart, I can throw things at them. But what I want to do is sell. So again, if you remember, if an item's got an orangey background, that's not something that I can use other than to sell it maybe. But like this one, the broken ore, I can use the broken ore even though I've already got something better, so I'm going to sell it. So I simply left click on the thing that I want to sell, click on sell, and it'll tell you how much the vendor's going to give you for all these things. So this tells me this is a stack of 12 blue pearls, for which I'll get 2 copper and 10 tin. So it'll stack for you automatically. So I'm going to sell that. I'm going to sell the broken ore. Keep the arrows for now. I'm going to sell these 2 dirks. Sell all these other things. I'm pretty much wearing everything that I need armor-wise. I'm going to keep this Bloodbelly Ale because that's a healing potion. Let's see here. Sell the gold tooth. See, I've got 2 of these heavy jungle clubs. I can only use 1, so I'm going to sell that. That mangled arm I picked up off that crocodile. Going to keep the bow because I can actually use that possibly. Get rid of the poacher's gaff. The Sudur's scimitar. Again, if you see this scimitar, it's one-handed edged, main hand or offhand. I can't use it because I'm a shaman, and it's got a 7.7 DPS. Plus, it has a bonus to strength, which is good for most of your soldier types and some of your priests. Priests in this game, unlike a lot of other games, can use swords. They're not limited like a lot of the old-fashioned Dungeons and Dragons cleric couldn't use anything with blunt weapons. But priests in this game most certainly use blunt weapons and other things. Bloodshed is a very, very accepted thing here, even for a priest in this world. So, anyway, I'm gonna sell that. The small mangled fang, Valdine blood, and violet headgear. So, I'm gonna keep these things because we can use them. Sell everything else. All right. So, again, we'll pull up our equipment and inventory. You can see I've got the big club that I've got. Since I can use this bow, I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it over here in my slot for the bow. Now, when you use ranged weapons, you have to include the ammunition as well. So, I can either club or I can switch out, and now I've got this bow that's here on my back. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but hey, it can reach out and touch somebody from a small distance away. So it's a good thing to have. So let's go ahead and, before we do anything else, we'll run back here behind this blacksmith here, and let's look at this Paragon's Cache. Now I'm kind of curious because I don't think I've ever picked one of these up, or maybe I have picked one up before. So we're going to see what's in it. So I'm going to right click on it. Okay. So, didn't know if I was going to get coinage or equipment or anything. I got lots of coinage. I got 75 silver, which for a beginning character at level 6, I guess I am. That's really, really good. So, anyway, when you start here in Tortage, there's kind of a scripted quest for pretty much all characters, and it involves you becoming a member of the resistance against Strom.
It is a crime to shelter the resistance.
Yeah, there's that town crier right there. He repeats a bunch of stuff. So there's basically the town is the original ruler, Valeria. And if you have watched Conan the Barbarian, this is the same Valeria you see in Conan the Barbarian. So she was originally the ruler. She was usurped and exiled by this pirate named Strom. And Strom is a tyrant. He doesn't treat people very well, etc., etc. So there's an underground movement against him, and during the story, you become part of this movement to defeat Strom. So when you first get here, you're in quote-unquote daylight mode, or playing in the daytime. There is a nighttime mode that you can enter into, and that's where you play out the story quest about defeating Strom. It's a good idea to switch back and forth. So anyway, we'll show you that in a minute. First thing I want to do is come over here to this guy. This is a quick, easy beginning quest. How I'm well, how are you?
I have been better, much like the city itself. There is little trade to be done with the blockade, little place to sell my wares, and little opportunity to acquire fresh materials to work. I am a blacksmith with no metal, and a trader with no customs. Strom's Red Hand is well named, for they strangle all life from the city's trade. Worse than badly. Strom's men kill any who dare speak out against him or the new laws. Traders abandon their stores or are murdered outright under suspicion of resistance involvement. Most people get by nowadays by doing favors. Are you too proud to help with a little scavenging? If you could search the empty and abandoned stalls down by the old harbor market and give me what you find, I will give you what I can as payment. My need is true enough. Down by the harbor market, a leather worker, a butcher, and a baker once worked in their own market stalls. All three are dead, executed by the Red Hand. So, they will not miss any scavengings you bring back for me. Farewell.
All right. So, many of these initial quests that you do in and around Tortage, and even some once you get out into the wider world, are voice acted. But not all of them. So you can read if you if you read faster than they're talking, you just read through and just move ahead. I'm familiar with all of them, so you'll probably see me skipping ahead on several of them. But this first little thing, he wants us to come down here to these stalls and pick up a few pieces of equipment left over by people who've been killed by Strom and his people. So I'm going to pick up these things. There's a rolling pin from a baker. Come over here. Here's what is this? A roll of leather from the leather maker. We already picked up the cleaver. So we're going to pick up these 3 items. Now you'll see Dogby here. He's got an exclamation point, which means he's got a quest for us, but we're not high enough level really to receive it because you see it's grayed out. Okay, it's kind of grayed out. So we keep an eye on him. Once we reach a certain level, that will turn yellow. Same with Proxima over here. That'll turn yellow when we can actually receive or interact with him and receive that quest. We can interact with him. We'll talk to us, but only briefly. So we'll run back up here to this blacksmith that we talked to, and we'll give him the items.
Greetings. My thanks. May I see? This is a fine haul, my friend. These tools are valuable to someone who knows how to use them. Here is the reward I promised you. Farewell.
All right, good. So he gave us another consumable. And if you remember what I said last time, sometimes you have consumables. You can consume them, and they will do things like boost your health, boost your stamina, boost your mana regeneration, etc., etc. So